What's up, guys? I just wanted to make this devotional because it's just really been a blessing to me to be in this season of my life. And as hard as it is, as much as I've been fighting, as much as I've been pressing in, uh, it's been a blessing. And the reason for that is because I've been seeing that in my obedience, it's led to see my weaknesses, and it's led me to grow in those areas because I let God perform what he needs to perform in me so that now he can do it out of me. And something I want to talk to you guys about today is fear. And the reason for that is because when people think of fear, like, oh, I'm afraid, they think of, or you could think of reverence for God, right? Being afraid in that sense. And something that God was showing me the other day was I turned to 2 Samuel 20, and just some brief context of why he opened that up to me is because he was trying to show that I had fear. And this kind of just led up the way it was. David, he was just suffering from the loss of his son Absalom, which was ultimately in the will of God, because God said that his sons were going to die by the sword, and ultimately it being God's will because of the consequences that happened with David, the consequences of his sin and his action. And so now David, he mourned. Now he's being brought back to. There's a lot of process in that moment. He's going back to Jerusalem, and in that, one guy named Sheba, son of Bichri, was rebellious, and he led others to follow his rule instead of David ultimately being God. So he led others to rebel against God, and turned away, and people followed his wisdom, his knowledge, his understanding of a situation, and it led others astray. So David sent Joab on to meet him, and there's a lot that happened. Joab ended up killing a guy named Amasa, and in that just led to other things. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is because at the end of the story, this was the main thing that God spoke to me and that stood out to me through all of it all, was that when they went to the place where Sheba was now hiding in, the place where he was in, a woman of wisdom, Bible said that it was a woman who had wisdom, said, Joab, why are you building up these defensive walls over? Why are you trying to attack? And he said, I'm looking for the son of Bichri, Sheba. And she, in her wisdom, sought out Sheba, and because Joab told her, he said, I need his head, like I want his head so I can show David. And so she ended up getting Sheba. She brought the head back. She threw it over the gate, and so now the head is just like a volleyball. But that's the big thing, like the head being chopped off, not the arm being chopped off, not the leg, not the fingers, not the arm, like none of that, none of its features, not the hair, not like none, just his head. And that's just a big thing, because back then in ancient tribes, when they would kill an animal or like a beast, it was like a ritual to bring its head back and show them, like, look what I did, like, and it would ultimately bring glory to themselves, and they would exalt them in that tribe. But like God had planted in me, okay, it's the head. You need to take out the head, right? The head is what does it. The head is what show others, dang, this person defeated this person, like, right? So something had to happen. So that's, just remember that, right? The head. So now later on, I'm dealing with something, and I realized, like, okay, I gotta continue to deny myself. I gotta continue to be obedient. And in my obedience, I was able to see my weakness. I started talking to one of my brothers. His name is Jose. Shout out to Jose, bro, if you're watching this. I started talking to him, and he said, you know what? He said, you need to like forgive yourself. And initially, I was about to catch him right, bro. I said, no, hold up, you gotta stop, bro. But then I was like, no, hold up. And that moment, I was like, all right, hold up. Let me just receive. Let me hear what he's saying. And I'm gonna take it a prayer, but like, let me just hear what he's saying. And ultimately, he started saying, you have fear. And then I started thinking about it, like, oh dang, like, so I knew, like, all right, I got to take this to prayer, because I'm starting to see I have fear. It wasn't doubt. It wasn't anything else. It was fear. I'm gonna get into that right now. So I started realizing that I had fear. I was afraid of things. I was afraid of the future. I was afraid of what I was gonna miss out on. I was afraid of things that weren't gonna happen. I was ultimately I was being tormented with doubt. I was being tormented with just tormented with a lot of things in my mind. Doubt, shame, unworthiness, guilt, self-righteousness, and I'm like, what the heck? Like, why? And ultimately, it's because I had fear. And I started thinking of the Bible when it said that perfect love casts out all fear. This is 1 John 4:18. If you guys want to check it out, you can. But it said that fear involves torment. So I started thinking I can only be tormented by things if it's hurt me before, or if I've seen it hurt someone else. Like I can't, if something were to come up to me that I've never dealt with, I've never seen, I'm not being tormented because I'm like, this is uncommon to me. Like, what is this? Like, I instantly know when something's like I've never dealt with, or it's just something just trying to come against. I was like, oh no, that's easy. But when it's something you've dealt with, and it's something that's hurt you before, and it's something that has taken a hold of your life, you start to realize that, dang, now I'm being tormented. So when he said I had fear, I started realizing, but perfect love casts out fear. So I just had to realize that there's certain situations of my life that God had to love on me, and that God had to break off the fear. So fear was the head. And I started realizing that doubt was just a part of the torment. Shame was a part of the torment. Unworthiness was a part of the torment. It all just branched off from fear, because fear involves torment. So I was being tormented with the things that I was fearing, and doubt was just a side effect of the fear, and that's what was going on in my life. So I started realizing I just had fear. And I just wanted to say this today and encourage someone who maybe you're thinking you're dealing with this, maybe you think you're dealing with doubt, maybe you think you're dealing with unworthiness, maybe you think you're dealing with anger. Maybe there's something you just fear in your life that's caused you to be angry. For me, it was doubt. It was I'll never be able to live up to God. I'll never be able to live up to what God has planned for me. Like, I'll never be obedient enough. That was a fear of mine. As much as it was that a mindset needed to be break off, that was a fear of mine. Like, reality, I just needed God to love me in the area and show me that I'm never going to be enough, but God's enough. It's not by my self-righteousness, or it's not by my uprightness in heart. It's by Him doing what He needs to do in me, and it's by Him being righteous that I can walk every day and talk to others about faith, talk to others about Jesus. That's the reason why I can do what I do. And I just wanted to speak to this today, because sometimes you just need God to love you on an area. And that's what I've seen. I just started to realize that I just had fear. Yeah, dealing with doubt, but doubt was just a side effect. So I just want to encourage someone today. Don't be afraid. You got to conquer what you're being afraid of, because where you're going, God can't have you be afraid. God can't have you fear. God can't have you deal with doubt. God can't have you deal with anything, because He needs to take that out of you, because where you're going, there's people that deal with that. So if you're dealing with that, how are you going to reach those people? So I want to tell you guys today, let God work in you and break off those fears that you got. And I hope this encourages someone, this blesses someone. I know it's a long video, but appreciate you guys for your guys' tithes every single day, your faithfulness to this ministry. And but if you do want to leave an offering though, just drop one in the comment section. But yeah, I just hope this encourages someone. Love you guys, and just remember, boast in your weakness. Boast in your weakness. So Paul said, let's do it. Love you guys.